My name is Griffin. I'm from Florida, the Gunshine State, if you will.
Yes.
And we actually have concealed carry banned here. Or no, not concealed carry, my bad, open carry. And that's that was due to most likely some racism with the Black Panthers. But I had some issues with your Kyle Rittenhouse takes. And let me just start this off with saying I don't think he should have been there. I think we're definitely on the same side when it comes to he's white supremacist adjacent. You may think he's a white supremacist.
I mean, I don't know whether he's a white supremacist or not. I don't think he.
I think he's in the wrong crowd.
Well, look, I mean, his ideology is not terribly important to me in the context of this. But yes, I would say he should not have been there. But go ahead.
Yeah. So I guess my issue with your sort of like on your show, you know, like calling him a murderer and other things like that.
Well, I didn't call him a murderer. That's a legal term. He's a killer. He definitely killed two people.
Okay, then maybe I was misremembering it there. That while I agree that it was immoral for him to be there, I think that the framing of the language, if you're trying to move people over like to the left, there's a lot of voters that are very single issue voters, and I don't agree with being a single issue voter, but there's a lot of like people, especially from the military, that I know that are very gun rights heavy, but the left could tone down its stance on trying to ban specific kinds of firearms and instead...
Well, wait a second. What has this got to do with Rittenhouse? I mean, look, I just think that the legal principle of if you take a gun and put yourself in a position where, like, I mean, and obviously the law is structured in such a way, I guess, in this instance, that it's not the case. I happen to believe that if you take a weapon like that and put yourself into a situation, particularly in one which, like, you certainly have the option in which to engage, right? Like, he could have stayed at home. Wasn't like he had any property of his own that he had to go down there to protect.
He wasn't even defending.
I don't know what he was defending in particular.
It was dumb.
He was just roaming around with a gun. In my mind, that would make you eligible for a manslaughter charge. Like, you, a reasonable person, should have known that showing up downtown to a protest with a weapon could lead to someone getting shot or killed. To me, that would be the standard. But
So what I would say is that firearms out in the open like that, especially when you bring them to like political movements and things like that, I think that open carrying is a bad thing to do because it escalates things, and it's a dumb thing to do.
I agree.
I think that that the rhetoric, instead of moving towards just, you know, Kyle is terrible, I think that we should make a movement towards banning more open carry, trying to make it so peer-to-peer purchases require a background check.
Yeah, but dude, you're just guilty of what you just accused me. You're not gonna. Those single issue voters, they're not excited about what you just said.
No, but if you also, and I don't believe with compromising with Republicans when it comes to like fiscal policy or foreign intervention or things like that. But when it comes to like certain stocks you have on a pistol or certain grips you have on what's considered a pistol becoming felonies, there's laws there that just will, you know, if you just don't know what you're doing, you'll become a felon. You can't get a job anymore. You can't have your gun rights anymore. And we could go in and strip some of the sort of weird laws around that.
Yeah,
and
I don't know what
while
weird
also
laws
trying to-
exist that you're talking about. I mean, listen, the subsection of people that are concerned about what you've just expressed, to the extent that those laws exist anywhere, they are not gettable voters in my mind. Like, you have a limited amount of resources, and the question is, where am I going to deploy it? Am I going to deploy it in trying to, in hope that the absence of an impetus to have to get rid of silencers, let's say, I don't know, on weapons is going to convince those people to vote for it? No, it's just not going to happen. That's like, I just think that, like, this idea of that you can convince, first of all, there's no way that any party associated with the left, broadly speaking, centered to the left, is going to get out in front of the Republicans on this. They're not. So if I'm a single issue voter, I'm always going to vote Republicans if I'm interested in guns, because if that's my only issue, because nobody else is going to come close. It's just not.
Well, my point is then, because the left, all of the people that we have on the left are voting on the left reality has a left-leaning basis. They're going to vote left because maybe they know more about policy, or they're more empathetic, or they just, want rights for everybody. They want, equality for everybody. You already have those votes secured. So trying to gain more voters, maybe not lose as many people in the House in the midterms. I know a lot of people who think that the right is morally repugnant, but they want their gun rights.
Well, like I say, the Republican,
trying to galvanize.
I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. I heard the same argument with abortion rights too, 20 years ago. It's not going to happen. And there's no threat to gun rights anyways. There isn't. I wish there were, but there isn't.
That's fair.
Appreciate the call.